So for this tutorial, the supplies you're going to need are some cans of some sort. I had this can left over from Christmas, but it still is a can, but I thought it would be nice for a tall firecracker. And then just any other cans that you had. I went with different sizes just to have more of a aesthetically pleasing look with them next to each other. And mine had some jagged parts, so I just put some tape in there just so that when I'm storing it and when I'm grabbing them, I'm not accidentally grabbing that sharp part that sticks up. So it'll be in a place that nobody will see it, so it's just safety, and then I just don't have to worry about it because I don't like dealing with the sharp edges. And then I will be using some chalk paint, just because when I use acrylic paint straight on something smooth, it usually flakes off. So I have found that using chalk paint first and then adding my colored paint on top after it's dried usually keeps the color much better and it won't chip off. And then I'm going to be using some red, white, and of course blue. Not in the correct order, but you get the point. And then I'm going to be using, this is the tape I have. If you happen to have painter's tape, that's if you want to do the stripes that I'm going to be doing. So, or if you want to be able to have more even lines, that could be handy. And then also for the little candle wick or the firecracker wick, I'm going to be using this very thick, it's almost rope-like twine that I just had in my scraps left over from miscellaneous things. And then you'll also need a hot glue gun to glue your little wick on. So let's get started. So now we're getting ready to paint our cans. I've already decided what colors I'm going to paint mine. So this one I'm going to do as red and white stripes going vertical. And then this one I'm going to do red, white, and blue stripes going horizontal. Oops. And then I was just going to paint this one a solid blue. I might do white with it, but I'm not sure yet. We'll see how the other ones turn out. So if you're going to do this, what I suggested on doing the chalk paint, I would paint that on first and then do your colors. So if you don't have any, this is a chalk paint that I'm using. I got this from Walmart. I'm sure you can even get it online. I will have in the description below an Amazon affiliated link for this chalk paint or a similar chalk paint. So get started on painting your chalk paint on your cans if you have that. You can go for it and try doing it with just the acrylic. I just have found in the past it does not stay on very well over time. It'll start peeling, or when you're storing it, it will rub, and so it's better to have something that'll last a little longer. I just finished adding my first coat for the chalk paint. You really just need to get enough to kind of cover the can. It doesn't need to be super thick because we're just making it so that the paint will stick onto your can. I'm going to go a little darker with this one just because it has color on it and I don't want it to show through because the red and the white are going to be pretty light that you'll see that. So I'll go a little thicker on this one, but these two should be good to go once they dry. So you can be the judge of that. There's really no reason to use a lot of chalk paint. It's just enough just to kind of coat it, create some texture for the paint to stick to. So once this is done drying, we'll get on to that next. Now my chalk paint is dry, so now I'm going to be adding my tape for the ones that I have stripes on. You could even do stars. I just thought of that, like with the blue one. Maybe cut out some star-shaped on the tape. Whatever you want to do with your cans, but this is the time to be adding your tape to kind of distinguish where you're going to be putting everything. So I decided to do the stars. I like that idea. That was on the spot that I came up with. And so I just drew some very basic stars. I'm going to clean them up as I cut them out, but just so I have something to kind of work with as a guide, I took 2 pieces of tape and lined them up to make them big enough, as big as I wanted them to be. And so I'm just going to cut these out and then stick them on. So. Okay, so I was trying to cut it with scissors and that was a nightmare. So I'm going to try sticking it to my little cutting board here and trying to cut it with an X-Acto knife, because that'll be much easier than trying to hold something sticky and try and cut it. So we'll try that again. Alright, well that took quite a bit of time and a lot harder than I thought. And I only have 4 stars. So I would suggest, if you don't want to go this route, maybe trying to find some stickers and using those, because I think that would be a lot easier. But this does work. My tape is also very old, and so it's really sticky, and it's been very hard to work with. But maybe with painter's tape, this would be not quite as difficult. But I would suggest maybe using stickers. Instead of, in my situation, I should have used stickers. But, so let's get going on getting these on. Alright, we have everything all taped up, and now we get to painting. I'm going to start painting with white, because red, if I did red first and then tried to paint white on top of it, I would have to do so many layers to try and like match them up, and it will show through. I'm going to do white first, and then peel this off, and then do my red. So I've done a little bit of painting now, and I went ahead and had one be blue, one be red, and then this one I will be painting white, so they all are a little different. So when you're peeling off some of your tape here, I know for sure with my stars I kind of peeked and some of them go through. So I'm just going to be touching up a lot of that. So it's not too big of a deal to me. I don't think it'll be too bad with the white since it's so light, but with the blue I will definitely have to be touching up with some of the white. So I'm going to be peeling off this tape to be able to add the red onto this part. So that's what I'm going to be doing with each of these things. So I'm going to be peeling this and doing my red, and then peeling this and doing my blue, and doing my red here, and then second coat and painting the top of this. So that's what I'll be doing. So I've been freehanding this so far. You're more than welcome to add your tape to make the straight lines so that you can do this a lot quicker. I just won't because my tape is super strong and I don't want it to peel off my paint. So you can definitely add tape if you're using painter's tape because it shouldn't peel it off too bad or at all. So I'm just going to be going kind of slow at this. So I'll meet you guys when I'm done with doing this one. Alright, this is about what I'm looking like with my stripes. So I'll be doing another coat obviously to not let all that show through. And so I'm going to start working on doing my red here and my blue. So I just took off some of my stars. So I think that one turned out the best, but they do need a little bit of touching up. So that'll be what I'll do. And with a little small paintbrush, I'll just go in with some white and paint them in. Alright, all my paint is finally dry. I had seen a similar example for this can online where they took a little piece of cardstock. So I have a scrap and mine's more brown that I'm going to write the word, I have the word boom. And so I'm going to take some twine and just kind of hang it. So I'm going to hole punch it and then tie it around. So I'll do that as well. My nice handy dandy hole puncher. And I will have a affiliated link for a hole puncher in my description. And I haven't decided if I'm going to hot glue this or not. You're welcome to hot glue yours so that when you're storing it, it stays. So right now I'm probably just going to leave it and then I'll see, and I can always hot glue it if I want to. So now we'll get to the part where we'll add our little wicks to the tops. So we don't need them to be very long. So I'm probably going to have mine be about that long. I'm going to see how long that is so I know how long to do for each one. So this is probably just barely an inch. Yeah, just, okay. It's like 1.5 inches. Just a little over 1.5 inches. It's almost 2 inches. So you can do yours however long you want or however short you want. So I'll be trying to match these all up and then hot glue them on. And there you have it. Now you should have your tin cans in the end. I had a lot of fun making this and it turned out so much better than I thought it would. I hope your guys' tin cans turn out very well as well. So if you would like to have me make any other tutorials or there are other videos or content that you want me to include on my channel, please drop it in the comments below. Alright, until next time guys. Bye.